Whether you've done Pilates for a week, a month, or a decade, you've probably made some Pilates mistakes that have held you back. As a certified Pilates instructor, I guarantee you we've all made them too. Step into my office, let me tell you my 3 biggest Pilates mistakes and how you can avoid doing them too and get better results from your workouts. This first mistake is so annoying to workshop, but I promise once you get it, it can really change your life. My mistake number 1, panic at the inhale. I learned at one point that I was breathing completely wrong, and it's so funny because I see it happening in my clients day after day after day. I was taught in a yoga class that proper breathing was done into the diaphragm, which they showed as expanding the belly really big as you breathe in. And a ton of people have heard of this as the right way to breathe in guided meditation, as anxiety relief, all sorts of stuff. There are a bunch of issues with belly breathing, but the issue with belly breathing in Pilates is that it disconnects us from our abs when we're trying really hard to use them to stabilize. We do a bunch of crazy stuff where like there's an arm over here and a leg over here, and the core really has to be on to stabilize everything. If you're breathing mostly into your belly, what do you think happens? You're gonna lose all of that like good support and everything goes slack. That can put a ton of pressure on your back and worse. Not to mention your rib cage doesn't get to expand. That means your mid-spine can stiffen, and it reportedly can even worsen anxiety. So what can you do? Lie down on your back with your hands on your ribs, and instead of directing the breath into the belly, really vertically, imagine that you have 2 triangles that sit right at the base of your spine, pointing upward toward your collarbone. Imagine breathing into the bottom of those triangles. This area is where your diaphragm really is, not in the belly. When you breathe in, you should feel the air expanding up toward the ceiling, down into the mat or the floor underneath you, and out to the sides into the palms of your hands. So it's this sense of 360-degree breathing. You might even feel your chest rising slightly and your belly softening and rising a little bit, but all of that should feel pretty secondary. This will allow your abs to support your movements while also still allowing you to breathe deeply while you're doing your Pilates. I could do an entire video on this, but let me know in the comments if that's something you want to see. But in short, breathe into the bottom of your ribcage in every direction rather than just into your belly, and you'll see way better core control among other happy side effects. This one feels so obvious to me now, but for my type A go-getters out there, you're gonna wanna stick around to hear this. Those of you who do my workouts on my membership know that I love a spicy class. Nothing wrong with that. Mistake number 2, no chill. Back in the day as a client myself, I used to chase the burn like it owed me $500 and the rent was due tomorrow. However, I have a better appreciation now for how a well-rounded practice is what makes a good practice. I've always liked to stretch, but I got a little addicted to intense classes and going after the high of mastering more advanced moves, learning tricks, and beginning to feel a lot stronger. And all of that is great. But if that's not paired with solid recovery work, it is so much easier to get injured, fall into stress patterns, and actually diminish your progress through overworking. So what do you do? I think generally good guidance for everybody is to work out however many days feels appropriate to your body. But if you're someone who's like, I can work out 7 days and feel fine, I encourage you, please take your rest days and include some restorative sessions in your weekly workout schedule. Stretching, great choice. And if you can include some myofascial release or self-massage, your body will certainly thank you for it. Not to mention, taking periodic breaks can be super beneficial for muscle building and actually making progress on the things that you're working on. One of the funniest things to see is clients who come back from vacation and they're like, oh, take it easy on me, I'm so tired today. And then they just bang through things that they were struggling with before they left with like no problem whatsoever. And it's such a testament to the fact that our bodies need rest. They need to recover, they need to rebuild. And they actually work better when they get that. So to summarize, work out regularly, but don't always feel like you have to do the most that day. Build in some low-key restorative sessions. Take a couple of days off every week, it's not gonna kill you. And take some longer breaks every once in a while, you need it. If you have no idea where to start on that, check out my membership. I have both spicy and restorative workouts galore, and I craft weekly workout plans exactly for this reason, for folks who need help building balanced workout schedules just like this. The link is in the description box down below. This next mistake is so common, it's practically a meme. If I had $1 for every time I heard somebody say engage your core, I would not have to monetize this channel. But what does engage your core actually mean? It's so vague, no one really knows what to do with that. And that was true of me for a long time too. Mistake number 3, Kegel? I don't even know her. I earned a brand new appreciation for the pelvic floor and how it affects next core activation after having a baby and all of the resulting aftermath. I had a bunch of issues with pelvic floor and ab separation that cost me a lot of money and put me out of commission for a long time. One of the biggest things I learned from my core rehab journey was to think of the pelvic floor as the starting and ending point of every core engagement. If you've ever been to a Pilates class, mine or otherwise, you've probably heard the term scoop your core or pull your navel to your spine. The challenge with these cues and the reason that pelvic floor PTs hate them is that they completely ignore the role of the pelvic floor, which is the sling of muscles that hold up your internal organs and prevent them from hatching an escape plan. Instead, when we use that navel to spine cue, that drawing in action happens closer to the waistline, which can create a whole bunch of downward pressure onto the pelvic floor and even creating a visual pooch effect in the lower abdomen for some folks. So what do? Great news, the solution is really simple. You have to start paying attention to your pelvic floor when you do your workouts. Every core activation has to start and end with the pelvic floor. Right before you begin to contract your core, start with your breath. Yes, that is a callback to number 1. Take a big breath in, and as you breathe out, imagine that you're blowing air through a straw and feel the pelvic floor drawing in and up, like elevator doors closing and an elevator rising 3 floors, or like you've walked waist high into a cold lake. Then we get to bring the deep core into the mix. From there, we feel the hip bones pulling together like there's an industrial strength rubber band drawing them inward toward the center line. And then the belly button draws in and up toward the sternum. So you get this sense of pulling inward toward the center, up and lifting. As you complete the activation, we're going to release that tension in reverse order, being sure to fully relax the pelvic floor at the end. This will allow your body to fully support the core work that you do without putting too much pressure down into the pelvic floor and creating all those issues we talked about. So remember, start every core activation with the breath and the pelvic floor, and remember to relax and let it go in between. Your core and your pelvis will thank you for it. And those are my 3 biggest Pilates mistakes, but I see clients making even bigger mistakes in the studio every single day. Watch this next video to find out what they are and how you can stop them from holding you back.